Welcome to Demolition Success Secrets, the podcast that's changing the game for demolition businesses everywhere. Ever wondered how a wrecking ball wielding industry can leverage digital marketing to dominate their market? Well, we've got the blueprints, strategies, expert guests, and more to show you how. Stay tuned, because we're about to blast through the barriers of your business.
Welcome to another episode of Demolition Success Secrets. Today we have Wes and we have Chris. We got a twofer, which is pretty sweet. A little background. I met these guys online. Yes, the internet works. Facebook ads work. Really digital ads work in general. So from one ads expert to others, pretty cool. And wanted to bring them on Demolition Success Secrets because they do work with blue collar companies. These guys are not working with Wall Street guys left and right, albeit they might be Wall Street guys themselves. Up in Canada somehow. I'm sure there's a Wall Street up there. But yeah, that's the one. So yeah, welcome guys. Let's kind of dig into it. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Before what?
Yeah, right on, man. Well, thank you so much for having us. In terms of myself, like I look after like a lot of the actual I would say like more like operations side of things and like finances and just some of like the internal stuff and dealing with like strategic partners and everything like that. And before I kind of run on about the actual like business itself, Chris, I don't know if you want to like introduce yourself as well too, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. So like my big focus is on the actual like the product development and then also the sales side there. So yeah, Wes and I have a nice like balance of skill sets there that we use for blue collar marketing. But yeah, I take care of a lot of like the actual development side as well as like the sales side there. And then we 50-50 a lot of the other shit too as well.
Yeah. And then in terms of the actual like business itself, so yeah, like you said, like we service honestly primarily like excavation and demolition clients are like a big focus of ours too, actually, which is interesting. But we will service like all kind of like blue collar trades across the board. We currently operate in 7 provinces in 25 states across the US, and we're doing everything from like websites, logos, SEO, social media management, media production, and then we've got like a strategic partner on the actual like advertising side of things. So we're currently a team of 8. I just interviewed somebody as well too, like 2 minutes ago for potential 11th position. So we got some more interviews today, and yeah, we're just currently kind of growing and just really trying to focus on, pushing the blue collar industry forward while offering, really good like high end services with great customer service. So that's kind of us in a nutshell.
Okay, sweet. Well, what got you guys into blue collar excavation, demo, things like that? Like what propelled that relative to, we know in marketing, people work with lawyers and realtors and dentists and stuff like that. What was the journey? Did you guys immediately land on blue collar, or did it become kind of a pathway that you found out?
Yeah. There we go. Sweet. In terms of like that side, man, like the company originally started as something called like Imperium Social. Which has been running since 2018, which was much more of like a generalist agency, like focusing on every niche, whether it's doctors, lawyers, spas. We just had like a core competency of skill sets when it came to like the logo graphic design, search engine optimization, advertising, as well as like the website development. But what really kind of drove us towards the blue collar side before this business, Wes and I had ran a business for about 3-4 years called Student Property Services, which was essentially a property maintenance company. That did anything under the sun, from landscaping to hardscaping, deck building, dock building, window cleaning, gutter cleaning, really anything that could make us money to pay for school and pay for tuition there, and kind of stay for the summer there. So that was like a big, I think, at least for myself, that was like a big eye opening in terms of how much we enjoy this industry. And then when we started working through Imperium, we kind of got tired, I'd say, of just working with every niche under the sun. It's also just tough, man, to like get really excited about stuff that you don't really care too much about. Even though like the skill set and the team that we were building was fun, when it comes to like scaling the operation, it's also difficult to kind of like scale something when a doctor's needs very different than a lawyer's needs, different to a pet spa, different to a travel agency. So it's hard to kind of build out a team that can actually like really benefit the end client there. So like we just had this idea of one day that like 40%, 30% of our customers are already tradespeople or blue collar people. for whatever reason, just because we get along with them really well. We have past experience just working within that field too. So right after that, we decided, like, you know what, let's open up like a division specifically focused, and like a company specifically focused for blue collar marketing, but on the digital marketing side. So I was just kind of doing the best with what we had in terms of our past, and then what we were experiencing with like the current business that we were running, and it just kind of made perfect sense. And honestly, I definitely speak for Wes on this one. Like, we enjoy working with this niche like so much more, so much easier to work with, so much cooler to work with, and I think like we found like our right spot in terms of like the niche that we're serving now.
Yeah, 100%. It was like we were working with everybody, man. So it was like, imagine us trying to build and like understand like a website for like a pharmaceutical company or like a spa or something like that. We were so out of our wheelhouse. We were doing it, but it was like, this is not like, and it just wasn't getting us going. You know what I mean? It was like, this is not an industry we necessarily care about. It's like not 100% fair to the client either. It's like we need something that we're getting fired up about. So that was definitely like the blue collar side of things.
That's awesome. Yeah, and guys, they have some pretty cool swag, as you could tell. Check Wes out.
Yeah,
Chris is on the opposite end. He's got the white t-shirt, just very plain Jane.
Pick up for Chris's lack of branding right now.
That is pretty funny. And Chris too, I'm seeing palm trees in the reflection. I thought yes, Canada.
Yeah, this is a really nice remote place in Canada, actually. Nice beach, really hot and sunny, man. No, I'm up in Dominican for about 10 days right now. Just kind of doing a little work vacation, trying to test that out, and definitely enjoying it. It's nice here to work, and lots of construction sites and demo sites I'm checking out on the way too. So, you know, mixing business and pleasure here. Flying the drone around a little bit.
Nice. Well, yeah, focusing on the industry, you know, with demo and everything like that, excavation, we do kind of, you know, get a mix of those things. And in my world, we're just 100% demo focused. I actually was just in San Antonio for their conference, which was pretty cool. Really amazing stuff, like seeing the equipment at work, and these guys just get so pumped up about getting behind that machinery. And that machinery is just really impressive. So for blue collar in general, you know, you guys can deep dive maybe into the land clearing and excavation stuff. Like, what are some of the scaling secrets that you guys find? Like, what are some of the things that you guys are helping propel people to do to get more deals, to build a bigger, better brand, to get more clients, to attract more team members, etc.? Like, what are some of those secrets maybe that you guys are a part of, or that you just witness your best clients doing that maybe you're not even a part of, but you just notice their best practices?
Yeah, I think in terms of my end, like, I think the two biggest things that we find works really well, and like, I think we service ourselves differently in terms of our service offerings compared to some other marketing agencies when they put you on nice like retainers and stuff. Where like we're very like a la carte in our service offerings. So we build out websites, we build out logos, we have social media, we have content in terms of like media production. And like the two things I find like work very well for this industry, because there's a big portion, especially when you're dealing more with like a civil commercial contracts, like building that foundation of where you're sending people. So like investing into like a proper website that actually displays like the trust and the services that you do properly, even from a residential and commercial side. Because any advertisement that you make is going to lead back typically to a website. You do something on radio, you do something on a billboard, people are going to Google you afterwards, and they need to have that second or first impression to be, you know, what they're expecting from you, especially if you're dealing with contracts that I find that are more, you know, so there's a big emphasis on safety. There's a big emphasis on like, can this company actually pull this off? You don't want to send them to like a rinky dinky like Facebook page that really tells you nothing about the business. And then on the other side, like for the hiring piece, I think like people investing into just high quality content has worked really well for them too as well. So when it comes to the actual like media production, like actually getting people excited about the business that they want to work with. I think there's no like secret that this is such like not necessarily like a saturated industry, but if you have like one demo company in an area, you're going to have 10, 15, 20 others. Like it's a very like competitive space. And like we find like the people who differentiate themselves both on like an online side and as well as like the content that they're putting out there, it's going to help them on the aspect of sales, as well as like just getting people like pumped up on the hiring side, which is, you know, obviously one of the biggest problems in this industry too, as well, just on that hiring side. So I'd say that'd be two of mine there, Wes. I don't know if you have anything to add to that one.
No, I think that's perfect, man. Yeah, I think too. It's like the nice thing about like the website is like you said, it helps complement like every other marketing effort that you do, right? No matter you have a conversation with somebody, shake their hand, no matter what, everybody nowadays just goes back to searching up that website to see if you can actually back up what you're saying, you know, and then just on the media side of things, like once again, it's like that can be used for if you did traditional like advertising stuff, like if you did a TV commercial, you can toss it on there. If you hand out flyers, like you can put your media on there. It can be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and your website, you know? So we try and focus on the things that are going to have impacts across like multiple avenues on your business there. So I think it's a big one. And then the nice thing too is, like to Chris's point as well, we're able to tailor that to your goals, whether you're looking to drive leads or, you know, attract great talent. Like we can tailor your website, your media, your socials, all that kind of stuff to those specific goals, so that it really like makes a difference for your business. And it's not just like kind of a cookie cutter solution.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, and a lot of the clients too, they don't necessarily do cookie cutter solutions. Like in in the blue collar world, you know, they're doing stuff where, you know, to some extent they kind of got it figured out and it's a boilerplate, but every job is different. So kind of in our worlds too, like we need to be systematic, but we also need to be tailored, because not every company, demo, excavation, land clearing is the same. Well, cool. So what do you guys notice are the triggers that make the biggest difference for your clients? Is it paid ads? Is it SEO? Is it, I mean, the answer is doing everything cohesively, right? That's the surest answer. But if you guys, as you mentioned earlier, kind of a la carte, maybe is there a hierarchy of things that you see get the most correspondence for your clients to get clients?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. I think it goes back to kind of what we just said too. It's like I think like we focus on those pieces like your website that's going to like impact like all of those individual channels, and then it really depends on like what the client's goals are. You know what I mean? And also to like their industry, like specifically for demo, I think it's like finding clients over like social media may be interesting. You know what I mean? It's like, whereas Google ads might be better. It's like one of those things where it's like we like to like very much tailor the services based on like who the client is, like where their clientele is, and that side of things. But in terms of whether it's like a PPC, SEO play, all that kind of stuff, it really depends on kind of who that client is and like where their clientele is at. Because like for certain industries, it's funny, like for us, even like we advertise like heavily on Facebook and Instagram, and it's great for us to get in front of contractors, which is funny because some of our contractor clients like will only get like tire kicker leads over Facebook, and then Google's unreal, and then vice versa for some of the other trades. So it's kind of funny, like it does involve like a little bit of testing here and there, but like a combination of everything is always best. But we just try and build out a custom solution for each client.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah, makes sense. And it's funny too, because, you know, obviously the branding, whether it's the shirts, the hats, etc., that stuff too is a big first impression. I kind of talk about, you know, reviews and things of that nature where I'm like, hey, we can go run Google ads all day long, do really well for you there. Pretty proven out. We can go do SEO all day long. But if you have like 2 reviews, it's going to be very difficult to proposition a demo company relative to another one that's got 30 positive reviews. Like I can all day long do marketing galore to the 2-star one, or rather to the 2 rating one. But if you were to put yourself in that person's shoes who's seeing it, they'd see your ad, they probably going to go click around. They're going to look at reviews. They're going to see the other guys. So yeah, it is kind of cohesive. Like the website needs to be, I guess, the second impression, we'd say, because you're going to lead them through SEO or pay per click or Facebook ads, what have you. But also the fact that you guys also are capable of doing things like the physical branding is really cool. And that's the impression, maybe we'll call it the third impression, but the first impression in person, where people want to see that you have a business, a brand, that you're not just some guy chucking a truck, they kind of say. You know, you're really put together. And what does it cost? I mean, like some shirts, some hats for your team, maybe a few $100, maybe a few $1,000, but it's going to literally transcend your ability to close when you're out on estimates to a way higher level because you're put together.
Yeah, absolutely. That professionalism, and then also too just having like that personality to your brand. You know what I mean? Like that uniqueness. Anything to set you apart. Like Chris, what's your you got to tell them the purple cow thing, man. You got to explain that.
Yeah.
It's so like it is so true. Anything you can do to like separate yourself from the pack is gonna, and like a lot of people just don't go that extra mile, you know. So what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, the purple cow like concept is like very much just like proof to that point there. So like Seth Godin's a marketer that has a bunch of books out there, but one of his like most famous concepts of books I say was like the purple cow theory, and that's essentially like if you're driving through a road or whatever, you're backcountry driving through the road, and you look to your right and you see a bunch of cows in a cow field. If you saw a brown cow, a black cow, a white cow, you wouldn't really care too much. But if you saw like a purple cow, you'd be like, what the hell is that purple cow doing there? Like I'm now like fixated on this purple cow. So like anything in terms of what we do for our clients, and like when we ask them, especially in the sales process, it's like what actually like truly like differentiates you in your business? Is it that you treat your employees very well? Is it that you have all the brand new equipment? Is it that you guys like to joke around on the job site, like work hard, play hard? Is it the quality of your service? Is it the customer service? Like you need to find something that's like a nice differentiator, and then like drive through that. For example, like for our company, like I find like Wes and I like to market ourselves like very, and like our team is like not corporate, not flashy, like very much kind of like boots on the ground and stuff that we know that guys like and that we'd like to see within the industry. And like taking away that kind of trying to assimilate and be just one with the crowd is I think an easy way to kind of differentiate yourself right off the bat, like especially on the demo side, and like anything from, you have companies that have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and are doing fantastic, but have gotten away with just doing the same shit, the same branding, the same attire, just kind of stuck in the past. And if you're coming up as like a kid and you um, now we're trying to build a company of a team of two or three, like it's going to be tough to take those guys on at their own game. Like you got to be able to differentiate yourself right off the bat, whether it's something as simple as the branding, you're wearing bright colors, your customer service is crazy. Just anything you can do to kind of basically differentiate yourself. And professional, and I think in this industry, it's something that's a very easy way to just go, up a few notches by just making sure everything's branded out. Your materials are nice. Your brand is translated from website to your ads to your content. Things that just make like good business practices, which I find like it's very much in that purple cow theory of just trying to stick out there.
Yeah. And do you guys have any good, obviously in our world, what marketing offers always comes up. It's kind of like the first thing you hear these days. It used to be like, have a niche. And now everyone's like, bro, like we got it. Like you guys are focused on blue collar, which is perfect because like some people be like, well, that's not niche enough, but you guys are plenty busy. Like, I think you're more successful than most of the people who are like, well, you should just, work with plumbers or whatever. And you're like, dude, we got the plumbers, we got the excavation, like we're taken care of. So with offers for your clients, something that's funny in the demolition world is really, what do we have to offer? It's usually like a free estimate, but you kind of juice it up where you say a free professional estimate, by a certified demolition pro or something of that sort, licensed and bonded. Do you guys have any fun offers that you've played with where perhaps, let's say your clients are offering, a free estimate with a $5 Starbucks gift card or something of that nature? Have you guys ever played with those? Or maybe they give away a hat, like a company hat, or any sorts of things to kind of juice their offer, so to speak, beyond just the free estimate?
Yeah,
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I think on that end, to be a lot of our like differentiating thing has been less of like we try and make sure like any of our marketing solutions or things that we do not necessarily like interfere with like I think what with like the business that they already have. Like we obviously have like suggestions that we do in terms of streamlining stuff, whether it's through the contact forms with how they take in clients, but we haven't dabbled too much in terms of the actual offers they put out there. That's going to, for example, like a gift card or a hat for free. I think the biggest thing that we like to do, especially on um, the media side, is very much on like the differentiation in terms of like the content side. So for example, like there's some industries, like especially in like septic, where education is like such a huge play, where anyone from like a customer standpoint knows realistically nothing about septic. They know what's in septic and they don't want to deal with it. But like in terms
Right.
of the education and the regulations and stuff, we find like if we can make companies like the educational powerhouse in their location or in their city or in their town, that's like an easy way to essentially get people to trust them. Because if someone's looking up regulations or regulatory stuff, like if they could put, a system here or a septic, whatever, and they just keep seeing this guy's site pop up or these guys' resources pop up, they're typically going to go with the person that they got the resources and the knowledge from. So it's more on like, I think the way that we present our clients in terms of the content side, like what's going to work best. And then from like a demolition side, like, safety is a huge thing when it comes to like the commercial and civil contracts. We want to make sure that everyone's like really representing that on that end. But it's more, I guess, yeah, like long ramble answer, but a big thing on like the content side, like how we present them, not necessarily like I guess the offer that they're doing on the residential side.
Got it. Wes, any insight on that?
No, I think that's honestly like it's pretty spot on. Like one of the things we always say is like trying to make our clients like an authority in their niche, right? And just like when you have like really good content that explains like clearly what you do, and then you go to their website and it's like very nice, trustworthy. There's educational content on that side of things as well too. It makes like it a bit more digestible to spend $40,000 on a septic system. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Think like what Chris has said is pretty spot on.
yeah, that's fair. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I met actually one of our podcast guests recently. They do more kind of explosive work that parlays with demolition. So they kind of like tag team with demo companies. They also have a demo company. Ironically, they're up in Canada. They have the explosion side, and then they have the demolition side, but they'll partner with other demo companies who don't offer explosions, and they'll cover that. And it was really cool because his offer, so to speak, was if we work together, we have like our own what would they call them, barrels of wine at a winery that they've like partnered up with,
No
which
way.
is crazy. Yeah, like it's, they branded together, and they will give a bottle of wine for the clients they work with. So it's not even just like, free at an estimate just due to the nature of their business. It's like we're not going to like tout ourselves that if you work with our company or partner with us, we're going to give you a bottle of wine. They just happen to send that as a thank you. And stuff like that can stick out, pretty well. There's even things like handwritten letters, which can be automated, as we all know, where I recommend to clients, I'm like, hey man, like if it's a big enough deal or it was such a good type of deal that you had, even if it was a, $30,000 house tear down, if you were to be able to automate it in your system, that could help you guys get more reviews. I'm not telling you should tell people, we really, really want you to give us a Google review, but maybe you could say something along the lines of, thank you so much. It was great working with you guys. Really enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. If you have a second, reviews are really powerful, and, we just appreciate your time or something like that. And then you could prop yourself up in a matter of a few months from having, let's say, 5 reviews on Google to maybe 10 or 20, and you're doing next to no extra work. And people are feeling like, wow, like I'm extra taking care of. The owner of the demolition company sent a handwritten letter, and like that's the least you can do to prop up your reviews. So I'm not saying you have to give the bottle of wine, be it for an estimate or for a deal done, but like, to be honest, there's good money in the business, if you're doing it right, that you can go be the purple cow, and it's not that hard. Like really,
Yeah.
like if you just did a $30,000 job and you made 7 grand, 10 grand, whatever in profit, like I'm pretty sure you can expense out $5 for a handwritten letter that you don't even have to write.
Yeah. And having
And
that any of that personal touch is so nice, right? Like I guess we do that in the sense like after we bring clients on with like we send them welcome packages, like you'll get a hat like this, t-shirt, like stickers, business cards, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? With a nice like thank you note as well too. So I definitely agree. Like that little stuff goes a long way. Or if it's like something big happens in their life, like send them like flowers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like those little gestures go a long way, even if it's for, a $5,000, $3,000 website. It's like, what's $75 to send them, a nice package and stuff like that, and make them feel like, oh, this company cares about me, which we genuinely do. You know what I mean? We want to have good relationships and like long-standing ones with our clients.
yeah, no, it helps you truly stick out. And a lot of people overlook it. Again, too, it's kind of like you're being penny wise and dollar foolish. Your packages, I don't know, they probably cost what, 30, 40, $50.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's
like
not a huge amount.
yeah, it's not too much. Cost of a t-shirt, a hat, and then the actual shipping, So not
Right.
too much. Let's say $50 Canadian.
Okay. Yep.
So not
Got
very.
it. Yeah. To make that impression,
It's
to
five
keep
dollars
them
US.
right. That's awesome. Well, cool guys. Any other ground you want to cover? Obviously, we got a few more minutes here we can touch on, but any other things you guys want to touch on for the demo world, or, from the marketing branding side?
Yeah, I don't know. From my end, like not too much. I think like the biggest thing, like if you are serious about like investing or like just getting marketing for for your business, like definitely take it slow and just like focus on that foundational piece, and then just partner with companies that are specialized in the industry. Like just coming from a spot that was more generalist and seeing a lot of like the horror stories that our clients would come going from like just like local full service companies that do every industry under the sun. I think there's like a lot of benefit of like working with companies like ours that have an actual focus on the industry. So if you do want to kind of take it seriously, like definitely even just having a chat with people like us is a good idea, because we've seen things that from other industries, from other clients, that could definitely like help people's businesses there. So it's always nice to
Yeah.
get a professional's opinion when it comes to that stuff.
And full transparency, we were that company at one point in time, working with that.
Right.
We're like, we have no idea what
Yeah.
the hell we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, definitely, yeah, I could relate to that for sure.
Yeah, that's funny. I say like go to the steakhouse, don't go to the bar. Like if you want steak, go to the steakhouse. If you want just whatever, you go to the bar and they could hit you with some chicken fingers or hamburger or whatever. But like you really should, especially if you want to take things seriously and get value. Maybe it's not the cheapest, but being the cheapest, you get the cheapest output. Like in your business, you shouldn't want to get cheap results. You want to get cost effective, you want to get valuable, input and work done. But yeah, I mean, trying to cut corners on your marketing to me is just cutting dollars off of your revenue potential.
For sure.
So like go to specialists, go to people who aren't going to make your life a headache and ask you a million questions. Go to people who've, got a system, something easy.
Absolutely. And if you have your doubts too, then go to a generalist marketing agency and interview them just like you would like one of our companies, right? And just see like the difference in like the understanding of your industry and like how tailored the service is, right? It'll become clear like very quickly that, working with someone who specializes in just demolition as opposed to a company that does everything under the sun, the guy who just does demolition is going to serve you a hell of a lot better for your demo company. So yeah.
You're right. Totally agree. Cool, guys. Well, let's share your website. Let's share, how people can get in touch with you and who's ideal to reach out to you guys.
Yeah, so our website's bluecollarmarketing.ca. Same with our Instagram. Those are probably kind of the two most common spots that people reach out to us. Or you can give us a call at 613-985-2053. But yeah, for any of that kind of stuff, yeah, we're super excited to chat with you. And then anything demo specific, yeah, they can just stay with you, man.
There we go.
Sweet. Yeah. And also too, we have many opportunities to tag team stuff, which we've talked in, kind of the pre-podcast. We're about to jump into the post-podcast. So we'll hit stop record in a second, but we'll all stay here on the line. So yeah, guys, definitely good people. I always feel good about my northern neighbors in Canada. Albeit one right now is not in Canada, but that's great. I'm in Florida myself, so I was thinking maybe he was a neighbor here. Not permanently, but I was thinking, oh man, maybe he's got a little spot. He comes, bounces down, back and forth. So yeah, guys, one day soon to come. Could be the other office, right? It could be the American office, something like that.
There you go.
And these guys are successful enough that they could probably pull that off tomorrow. Just like go buy the Miami condo in cash or something.
Yeah. I canceled my return flight basically already, so I'm stuck here for a while.
That's awesome. Super, super awesome. All right. Well, guys, you know how to reach out. Really, really recommend Chris and Wes. Super solid people. They know a lot of the same people I know, which I try to stick with good, high quality people. So that's a good sign. And we'll stay on the line. But thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Demolition Success Secrets. See you guys.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for this episode of Demolition Success Secrets. Stay tuned and subscribe for more explosive insights from our upcoming episodes. Until then, continue to blow up your demolition business and make the competition rubble in your path.